Hey, welcome everyone. It's our Tuesday night team call. Just excited to have our amazing guest on. We have John Garner, who's a Pro 7 out of Kearney, Nebraska. He and his wife live in Kearney and they have 5 children and 2 Labrador retrievers. And you might remember John, he was on the stage back when we had our when we were in Cancun. I believe you were one of the speakers. I believe that. Also, you were on the trainings a couple of times when we've had our success mastery trainings, which were really excellent. You always do such a good job, John. And I've always just thought it'd be so great to have you as part of our team call. But what I was thinking, especially that reminded me of your last talk that you did in when you had Success Mastery, you talked about the p-value. And I know you were a former pharmaceutical rep and came to our company looking for something different and just were, went gangbusters, because you've only been in LifeVantage now, what, 4 years?
No, actually about almost 7 now.
Oh, 7, oh gosh.
I know, and time flies when you're having fun, right?
Right. So you did go up the ranks pretty quickly, it seemed like. But yep, so your background is pharmaceutical sales, heavy equipment sales, a Nebraska boy, born and raised, and you were introduced to LifeVantage by a good friend and a neighbor, and you've been a Pro 7 now about 3-4 years. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. But now you're just full-time dad, loving the life of coaching and having fun with your kids. And it is such a blessed life once you get to retire and do the fun stuff and live life on your own terms. So I'm going to toss it over to you, let you tell your story, and then give us some, a little bit about that p-value in the Protandim, what impressed you the most about the PubMed studies, and then about the events coming up and just why you're so excited to be part of LifeVantage. So I'm going to toss it to you. Thanks for being on our call tonight.
You're welcome. Well, I appreciate the warm welcome from everybody. So I appreciate that very much. And if I forget anything as we go through anything that you just asked me to cover, just ask me at the end, because normally what I do, I do have some notes, but I kind of get off on some tangents at times. So I apologize for that in advance. So I don't know exactly which way this will go as I start talking, but I think this is going to be really fun. So, if you go back in my story, again, yes, grew up as a farm kid, met my beautiful wife here at the University of Nebraska at Kearney. We love our community. It's about 35,000 strong. So not a huge community, but we are kind of in the middle of Nebraska where there's not a lot of metro around. And I was fortunate enough in out of college, I got a job into some construction sales, and then was able to get into pharmaceutical sales. And I thought that was my place. I really did. I felt like that was the place because it felt like I was helping people. And that's what I thought I was the calling that I was supposed to do. And I spent some time in that industry, and it didn't take that long to figure out that it might not be the right spot for me. I did really, really well. Don't get me wrong. I did really well in pharmaceuticals. I could have stayed in pharmaceuticals for as long as I wanted to, as long as I would make it through some cuts. And we know that those come around in bad times, as we've seen in the last decade. We've been through 2 really, really tough times. And so I just didn't know if I would ever be that fortunate to be able to keep my job through those, because in Kearney, Nebraska, to replace that type of an income would be very, very difficult, right? There's not those type of jobs everywhere. And it just didn't feel right. It felt like, and I'll just put it to you like this. I drove a company minivan full of pharmaceutical samples in the back, and I was scared to death that I was going to be driving that minivan at the age of 80 and still delivering samples. I just felt like my life was supposed to be more than that. And I can't explain that too much more than that. It didn't feel like it was supposed to. When I first thought about it, it's like, man, I've made it. I've done so well. And then after you're so long in that industry, it just doesn't feel right anymore, and felt like there had to be a different way. So we were praying for a change. We had looked into owning traditional businesses, but it didn't solve the problems of, I was covering 3 states already. I was a national certified field trainer, which meant I flew all over the nation to train brand new reps. And it would happen something like this. I would get a call on a Thursday, and they would say, hey, John, we need you in Billings, Montana on Monday morning at 8, or we need you in San Francisco on Monday at 10. And I would say, well, I can't do that. I'm not next to a metro airport, and my kids play soccer this weekend or basketball this weekend. And it didn't matter. And that drove me really, really crazy. And so I knew we needed something else. I just didn't know what it was. And about that time, be careful what you're praying for, because things show up that you don't know. And my neighbor popped through the door, because that's what we do here. We just pop through the door, and he came through the door and he said, hey, can you look this up and tell me if it's any good? And if you know Jeremy Norrie, who's my sponsor, Kazi Teal enrolled the Norries, and Norries enrolled me. If you know Jeremy, it wasn't just, here's the bottle, look this up. It was probably some vulgar language that came along with that, of saying, hey, look this up and tell me if this is any good. And I said, okay, fine. So I jump on my computer, went to the National Library of Medicine, and was expecting nothing to show up. This is where I would send my doctors to look up pharmaceutical studies on our products. And I would tell them like 99% of natural supplements don't have anything. There's nothing on the NIH. Right? This is where all legitimate studies are published. And by the way, a large percentage, like an overwhelmingly large percentage, and I can't give you the percentage offhand because I don't remember what it is, but it is a large percentage of studies do not get published on the NIH. Like, they're not allowed on the NIH. So it's a really great database of really good stuff. And I went there expecting nothing. And what I came across at the time was 18 peer-reviewed published studies done by places like the Ohio State University, the University of Denver, Colorado, LSU, Virginia Commonwealth. You've got the American Heart Association, Harvard University. Right? You start going through and I'm like, man, this is crazy. They had more studies than what my billion-dollar pharmaceutical product had.
Right.
There's more studies, right? And so I just told him, I said, hey, I don't know. I'm going to have to read this and let you know, because this is very strange. This is new. I've never seen this before, that a natural product has this many studies. So I did some research, and what I came across in one of the very first studies that I read, which is the one that I said yes to immediately, there was a human clinical controlled study done by the University of Colorado that showed by blood test in a human controlled setting that it reduced oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days with a p-value. So this is one of your questions. What does this mean? Had a p-value of 0.0001. And what that means is the results of that study didn't happen by random chance. It happened to get approval in the drug industry. You need to have a 95% confidence interval, which is 0.05. Anything that's less than that is really, really good. In pharmaceuticals, I had to present studies that were larger than 0.05, which means they could have happened by accident. It could have happened because they crossed the street. It could have happened for anything. And those are embarrassing studies to have to present to doctors. This one being 0.0001 means 1 in 10,000 people, it might happen by random chance. 1 in 10,000. But the other 9,999 are getting the results because of Protandim. Okay, that's massive. That is so incredibly. So the results, to me, there's no argument about the study. People can have their opinions of the product, but it doesn't change what the product does. We know that this product with statistical significance reduces oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days. There is no other product in human history that has ever shown anything anywhere remotely close to that. If you look at every supplement that will tell you that it reduces oxidative stress, they will never, ever, I've not seen one to date ever that will tell you a percentage of any kind of a reduction. It will say it may help to reduce oxidative stress. Well, guess what? It may not help to reduce it either. Protandim is the only product in human history to ever prove that it reduces oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. And oxidative stress, guys, if you don't know, oxidative stress, which we knew in pharmaceuticals, is the root of all evil. It's the root of everything that is a deterioration of the body. It is the root of the aging process. It is the root of everything that happens, of why Anita just yawned, right? It is the reason. It is the reason why we're tired. It's the reason why we don't sleep well. It's the reason why we don't fight things off very well. It's the reason why things just don't function like they did when we were younger. It's why our eyes deteriorate. It's why we gain weight. It's the reason for everything. It's the bottom line reason that causes an inflammatory process inside the body that wreaks havoc on your body and causes you to age faster. And we know that along with age progression is disease progression. Just is, right? That's, you can ask any internist across the board and they will constantly tell you that, well, you know, as you get older, your percentage of risk of disease increases. That's just what it is. And so when you look at Protandim, Protandim is the one product in the world that reduces oxidative stress by 40%. And let's not forget, if you go to the NIA, and a lot of people are not aware of this, we realize that Protandim slows aging. We know that, right? We know that it's been proven to do that. But you know how significant the find is. The NIA has been around since the 70s, right? They have tested thousands upon thousands of products. Their only job is to find things that extend lifespan. The only thing. Do you know, to date, since the existence of the NIA, on their website right now, you can look it up tonight, the NIA lists 7 products that they've ever found to increase lifespan significantly. 7. Of all the millions of products out there that claim anti-aging, right, and make you feel younger, there are 7 that's actually been proven. Protandim is on that list of 7. And it is the only natural product on that list. So again, make sure you understand that this product that you have your hands on cannot be denied, right? People can have their own opinions, but it's not a very educated opinion if they disagree with the fact that Protandim is one of 7, and it's the only product in human history to reduce oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. And as you probably heard me say on about every training that I do, it's like, come on, we know for a fact that it increases your survival genes. And if you're not increasing your survival genes, then you're decreasing them. Which would you rather have? It's kind of a no-brainer to me. And this is what I saw, and this is what I had to jump on immediately, because as a gentleman, and I almost didn't know how to answer this, but I was in a meeting in Omaha, Nebraska, in one of my very first meetings that I'd ever done. And this guy was, you know, he's being super negative about it. And I just asked him, you know, what he was being negative about. And he's like, well, he says, you say everybody needs Protandim. I'm like, absolutely. Everybody that you know should be on Protandim. And he said, yeah, but everybody else, they also need chairs. He goes, we need these chairs. And he goes, just look around how many chairs there are. I said, that is so true. Like we need chairs. We need places to sit down. But how many manufacturers of chairs are there? You understand? There's one manufacturer of an NRF2 product that is shown to significantly increase lifespan and reduce oxidative stress. There's one. There's not 2 products. You have your hands on a gold mine, right? That's what this comes down to. You can dramatically affect people's health with the product line here at LifeVantage. And when you combine that with the opportunity that LifeVantage has, it's absolutely incredible. And so let me tell you some statistics here really quick. So I want to make sure you know how to find this stuff. So it wouldn't be a great training if you didn't know how to get this. And some of you probably do, and some of you probably don't. So you can go to the DSA, so the Direct Selling Association, and print these fact sheets. The fact sheets now include the 2020, which is obviously one of the worst years that we've known for quite some time. But in 2020, there was a staggering statistic that showed that network marketing reached global highs. right? Record highs across the board. And so to give you an idea, direct selling in 2020 was a $180 billion industry. And the reason I tell you these numbers is I want you to know that this industry is special. This industry is a better way. It doesn't matter. Nothing's perfect, but it's a better way. You can compare it to any traditional business. You can compare it to anything that you want. It's still better. When you start checking off the boxes, you'll realize there are more pros than there are cons comparatively to any traditional business. There just is. And it gives you no ceiling, right? There's no ceiling there. And so you can actually chase your dreams and your goals. And that's what I love about it. In pharmaceuticals, I could never make more money than my boss. Wasn't allowed. Didn't matter how good you were or how much product that you sold. You couldn't make more money than your boss. And so you were capped. Right. And to me, that didn't make sense, because if we sold more product, everybody gets along better. People are healthier, right? The company makes more money. My boss would make more money and I would make more money. Like, everybody's happy, but it doesn't work like that. They don't want that to happen. So it's a $180 billion industry. So the industry itself is alive and doing incredibly well. It showed a 13% increase in 2020 alone. 13% increase. And if you're not familiar with how business grows or industries grows, it is not by double digits. Okay, it is in very small fractions of percentages of year-over-year growth. And you're talking about a 13% growth year-over-year. There are over 125 million active distributors. You're not alone. This industry is alive and you're in the right spot. There are 125 million active independent distributors. When you look at the next section, and this is why I'm going to tell you why now. There's been a lot of good times in LifeVantage, and there's been times in the industry where it's slowed. Okay, so a couple years ago, maybe even 3-4 years ago, what I will tell you is the industry was a little slower. Right, everything was a little bit slower, and you would work really, really hard and spin your wheels. Right, and not for much results. But what I will tell you is every professional network marketer and every professional anywhere will tell you, you have to strike when the iron is hot. Okay, that's how you make it, is you strike when the iron is hot. And that's what's happening right now. So when you look at the total, let me find it. You go to, so one, the DSA.org. You can also go to the WFDSA, so the World Federation of Direct Sales. And that's where I get all these numbers. But if you look here, this is the stat of what people are purchasing. Okay, now you're going to notice there's two larger bar graphs here of what people are purchasing. So if you're going to align yourself right into an industry and with a company, you want to make sure you're aligning yourself with what people are looking for, right? You wouldn't want to align yourself where there's very few people looking, right? Like for instance, 5% clothing and accessories. Okay, home care is 3%. So if you're looking to position yourselves in front of a trend, probably not the way to go. So when you look at what leads the way is wellness. Wellness leads the way at 36%. Okay, that's the largest trend, and it is on a growing trend. Wellness is expected to be that next $1 trillion industry, and the numbers are showing that. The next one is cosmetics and personal care. Cosmetics and personal care is at 26%. So when you look at the two combined, 62% of the entire industry is what people are purchasing is between personal care and wellness. You guys realize that just a few months ago, what LifeVantage did? We just positioned ourselves in the personal care market. Smart. Like, you have an incredibly smart company, 62%. So if you want to position yourself in front of a trend, just like we did, we had no idea how to do network marketing, never done network marketing before or anything remotely close to this. I was an employee-minded individual. Okay. This is our first network marketing experience. But what I did know is position yourself in front of the trend, just get in the way. That's all I knew how to do, is like, get in the way and I will figure the rest out earlier. The last house that we had, I didn't want to pay somebody to do some drywall work. And I'm like, you know what? If that guy can do it, I can figure this out. It's just drywall. I can figure it out. So I figured it out. It was sloppy, yes, but I figured it out. Okay. So same thing in network marketing. You don't have to be the genius. You don't have to be the know-it-all. You don't have to know how to do it. You just got to get yourself in the way so that you can begin to learn how to do it and do it sloppy and struggle at it so that you can get better at it. That's how it works. So the company is now positioned in the market where 62% of the people out there, that's what they're looking for. We have those products and we're unique and we're category creating on those trends. When you look at the total market in the US. So the US, people think if you're anything like me, have you guys ever thought, one, you're going to run out of people? You ever look at your list and like, oh my gosh, I'm going to run out of people? You ever think, I don't even know what to do next, right? You ever think about, hey, I wish I just had somebody in Australia. I wish I just had, man, if I had one person in the UK, oh my gosh, my business would be going crazy right now because UK is on a 45% increase in network marketing right now, 45%, right? So if you know anybody in the UK, probably a good place to be, but that's how my mind always works. Like, man, if I had one person in Japan, my world, my business would change. If I could just find that one person. Isn't that what we always do is we try to think like that? But what I will tell you, the number one nation in the world in network marketing, the number one, the hottest market in the world right now is the United States of America. The United States leads the way. So I will tell you, look in your backyard, right? Your backyard is going to link you into multiple different countries, but the hot spot right now, number one in the world is here. 41.6 million customers in the United States. That is also a 13% increase year over year. There are nearly 8 million distributors nationwide. So again, you're not alone. When you start to consider what the US, not only did the world go into record number highs, but also in the US and retail sales, sellers, customers, record highs year over year. And then I want you to think about it like this. There's 330 million people in the United States, roughly. About 75 million of those are between the ages of 0 and 17, so not your market. That still leaves you with about 240, 250-ish million people out there. And when you look at the numbers, if we just look at the sheer statistics that the DSA supplies us with, that's telling you that 20% of the US population currently are purchasing from a network marketing company. 20%. It's acceptable. You can get that out of your minds that we're still stuck in the old age of, oh, be scared about being in network marketing. Network marketing is a brilliant industry with a low startup cost, with brilliant products. Okay. The product lines are getting better. People are figuring out that this is the wave of the future because traditional business is not the way of the future. And if you didn't think that, you should now, after all the shutdowns of 2020, livelihoods are ruined. Millions of people without jobs in 2020. And we were just a decade before that where millions of people were without jobs, right? So again, network marketing with no brick and mortar is a better way, low cost, upfront, where the company is doing everything for you. And all you have to do is share your experience about the products to share in the wealth of the company. Right? It is a better way overall. And so that's really what I'm excited about in terms of network marketing as a whole, and letting you know that LifeVantage is so smart to position themselves in the way of the future, right? In those trends of the future between personal care and wellness. And everybody right now, the number one search terms on Google are still, how do you make money from home? Right? Number one search terms on lots of search engines are going to be, hey, how do I boost my immune system? Right? So we're talking about being proactive for proactive immunity. We're talking about showing people how to earn money from home so that they can help their family be more secure. And there are more people that are looking for small business and entrepreneurs than they are willing to purchase from a large corporation right now. Right? They want to support the entrepreneurs. They want to support small businesses because those are the people that are hurting in your communities. Right? That's why now is the time. And, you know, if we look at our business as a whole, I will tell you straight up that our Pro 7 Business Center wasn't created by 365 days a year in consistent effort. It wasn't. right? And so consistency is a key to success. Absolutely. We'll agree with that 100%. But what I'm telling you is our biggest success, and if you ask anybody out there, they will tell you the exact same thing. It comes in small bursts of energy, right? At the right time. And what I'm telling you is what we have at this company is perfectly, as bad as this pandemic is, as bad as it's been, I will tell you that it's perfectly aligned for your business. And you have to strike while the iron is hot. So the trends are there. The right product line is there. We have what people are looking for. LifeVantage has positioned it. There are more people open to making money at home than they ever have been before. I am telling you that this is at an all-time high, primed for growth. There are going to be people that will jump through the ranks this year. It can be you or it cannot be you. It's just a decision, right? We are going on a massive, I will tell you right now, ask me in 3 months how we're doing, because we just started another 90-day run. And this 90-day run, we are expecting large results. And I will tell you, our team has been very quiet, right? And so this is a time to get everybody back going again. This is a time to recruit, and it's a time to recruit for business. So as important as our products are, and I should say this, this is really important. The thing that brought me into this business was the product. Hands down, the product. The product is absolutely amazing and still today way ahead of its time. But what you need to know, and it took me a while to figure this out because I was really pushed away by people who really pursued the business. Feelings were hurt about it. I was like, this person's greedy, right? I was telling them, like, they don't have the right mindset, because this is a product oriented company and we have what people need. And then I began to realize the longer that I'm in the company, that it's actually the people who grow large businesses within the company that are business focused that care the most about people. They're the ones that care the most about the product. And here's why. I can only talk to so many people about being a customer. The only way that we can ever reach the masses and millions of people, and really, if we really want to help people, the only way to do that is through a distributor network. It's the only way. And I tell this story all the time. And it brings me to tears most times. So I'm going to try not to, but a good friend of ours, before we got involved with this company, died of breast cancer. Left behind 2 beautiful girls at the age of 28. And we still take those girls with us to soccer practices, to soccer games, soccer tournaments. And it's an incredibly sad story. And I resonate with that because I always wonder what would have happened. What would have happened if something would have came into their life prior to that? Would it have changed anything? I don't know. So the reason that you should do this business and build a distributor network right now is because there might be some 6-year-old little girl in Indiana where her mom needs this desperately, and she needs it now. And the only way that you're going to find them is through a distributor network. Right? There's some 8-year-old boy that needs his dad. There's a 12-year-old girl that needs his grandma. Those are the things, guys. That's what you have your hands on. That's the power of LifeVantage right there. It's right there, is to get this product out to the people that need it, that you don't know. And those are the people that care the most about this company. Those are the people that care the most about this product. So I ask you a little bit to think about LifeVantage a little differently and to think more about the business and getting people involved in the business rather than just pushing for customers. We love customers. Don't twist it. Don't take it the wrong way. I'm just telling you that it's the way to find more customers is through a distributor network, right? And so we've got to open that distributor-minded questions and get people involved, because that's how we're going to save people. That's how we're going to help people live better lives. And everybody, whether you know them or not, everybody deserves to live a better life, right? I went from, in my middle 30s, to driving that man van up and down the interstate, state to state, slapping myself in the face, hanging my head out the window, stopping at rest stops to sleep, okay? Cranking the radio, shutting the radio back off, cranking the radio, trying to stay awake, praying that I could make it to the next Starbucks before they close. True. All fact. That was my life. And we would get home. We could not get supper on the table on time. We've got 5 kids, couldn't get supper on the table on time. We couldn't get organized enough to get the stuff at the grocery store that could get us through the next day. Couldn't keep up with the laundry. Couldn't keep up with just the housework because mama was working, I'm working, busy nonstop. We would go to bed exhausted, wake up more exhausted to start that whole series of craziness all over again. Since the introduction of our LifeVantage products changed our life, don't struggle with sleeping anymore. Don't struggle with getting up in the morning anymore. Like, I wake up refreshed. I go to bed like later and feel good about it. We can stay on top of things. We're more organized, guys. These products help every aspect of our life. And that's the reason everybody deserves that. I thank God for Cassie Teal to reach out to Norries that she hadn't talked to in a dozen years. They went to college together, called them up out of the blue. What is the odds of that? Right? Thank God for Cassie Teal to say yes. And thank God for that. She took a risk to make one conversation. That one conversation has led to over 8,000 people and changing their lives.
Wow.
Now that's cool. That's the power of one conversation. So when you think about your next conversation, think about that just a little bit. One conversation can change not just their life, it can change thousands of people's lives in the future. So guys, thank you so much for having me on tonight. I hope that I answered the majority of what you wanted here this evening, and I hope that it helps you and drives you to make that next contact. I know, guys, I know the contacts are tough. I know that it's hard to pick up the phone and call somebody, but it's worth it. It's worth every minute of it.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, John. You have me in tears. Oh, my husband's sitting here too. Is like, oh, that just, yeah, gets you right in the heart. And that's the thing. It's not about us. And you're so right. We can only talk to so many people. Our circle of influence is only so wide, but it's that big distributor network that actually, like you said, actually can care more and share more. So that makes total sense. So thank you so much for giving us a portion of your night tonight. You did an amazing job. And I had never heard that before, that the NIH only has 7 products listed, and it's been going on since the 70s. 7 products, and ours is one of them, that it can extend life. That is amazing.
So just go to the National Institute of Aging. Just look it up and it will be right. It'll show you all the products that's in current testing. Show you all of them, and then it will give you the list of 7 products that they've confirmed that extend lifespan.
Oh, incredible.
We're there.
That's amazing. And did you want to put a plug in for, you have a Pro 10 coming?
Oh, yes. So don't forget, if you know anybody that's within driving distance, flying distance, I don't care what it is, if they can get to our meeting tomorrow night. So we have a meeting with Pro 10 Gabe Pearson tomorrow night and Steve Urban from corporate. They will be out here at the Kearney Country Club at 7 o'clock Central Time, here at right here in the middle of Nebraska, right along I-80. So think about, go through your contacts, ask your teams if they know anybody from Nebraska, anybody. We're close to the Colorado border. We're close to the Kansas border. So we've got people driving from 5 hours out of Kansas. We've got people from Iowa that are driving over, quick trip right down the interstate. Kearney's a nice community, easy to get around to, but we've got space. We're expecting a good group in there tomorrow night. But if you can get people there, I think it will be incredible. Gabe does such a great job. So don't forget, we've got those Pro 10 tours all around the nation. They're all on Big Blue Calendar. So plug into those, make sure your team know, and invite. If you do, get my phone number from Maryland and let me know who they are. And I will certainly go up and introduce myself when they get there. And I will directly introduce them to Gabe.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And this was amazing. Also remember Spice Plum Axio, you guys. It's amazing. It tastes wonderful, especially warm, but I love it either way. And we've got the 20% off flash sale on all skincare and hair care till tomorrow. So those are 2 little reminders I needed to put in. So thanks, guys. Have a wonderful night. Thank you, John. Hope you have a great
Thanks, guys. God bless.
Take care.